This is the 150th episode of Audioface. We don't usually do special things for any episode, really, let alone the middle ones. But we did launch Audioface on video on episode 50, and we were like a little bit slow to develop the YouTube channel because making this into a podcast and giving one version of it with music samples and one version of it without so we don't get dinged on YouTube takes a little bit of time. It takes rendering power. Now we have that power. Now we're uploading videos mostly every week, and that's super fun. So make sure you check us out on our YouTube channel at youtube.audioface.show. But since it's been 2 years and since we have been able to grow the YouTube channel a little bit, we now actually have a lot of, I'd say a lot of good feedback. A lot of good feedback about the show and the episodes and what we do. So I thought we would just go through a selection of some different ones. So we were just talking about Kanye West for president, which we all know is ridiculous.
We just did this this one was pretty recent.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier in the podcast for when we clipped this out. And someone said, Artist2478 said, this is all a publicity stunt, so Kanye takes African-American votes away from Biden, so Trump ends up winning. Kanye is a huge Trump supporter. And except for the political analysis part, we agree with that. Kanye's just doing this as a publicity stunt for sure. But even in that one poll, which isn't great, but it's that one poll.
Take it away from Trump.
It's taking votes away from Trump. Yeah.
But we don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, but like, hey, it's nice to at least know that we're not just like screaming out in the ether these opinions. Other people agree. Now let's take it way back. 2 years ago, we were talking about a news story where Deadmau5 and Rez were going to make a song together. And Sean, you were describing it as something that was, and you're just speaking off the cuff, something that's going to be around 85 RPM.
I think RPM because I'm a goddamn pilot, so I'm always thinking revolutions per minute instead of BPM, beats per minute. Sorry, I made a misspoke. And somebody said, Dap Fury said, 85 RPM? Try BPM.
Yeah. So, it's there.
This one I love.
Yeah, so
this next one I really
we had
love.
a lot of folks hard in the paint. By the way, if you're on YouTube and you want the little circle badge with the YouTube thing on it, just subscribe to the Audioface channel. And if you've been a subscriber for at least a week or so and you comment on the videos, you'll get this special badge. So we'll know you're an organic and we will super pay attention to your comments. But yeah, this organic, Megan says, thank you for posting and making such a strong statement about Kendrick Lamar. And this is a couple years ago.
Defending XXXTentacion.
And Kendrick Lamar threatening to pull his music from Spotify if Spotify punished XXXTentacion for his behavior. Megan said, thank you for making such a strong statement. Music is important, but not as important as protecting the safety of women and girls. We believe
Agree. 100% agree.
Women, girls, sexual assault survivors of any gender, any expression.
Whatever.
There has to be a line in music and what we accept, because there's now more than ever, trademark, so many artists to choose from that you don't need to settle based on one's shitty behavior.
And his incoming butthurt XXXTentacion, this guy named Bad Vibes Forever, which is an album title for him and has a picture of him. I was gonna say something. But his comment
this was a comment on the video where people were doing the XXXTentacion challenge.
Yeah,
posing like his corpse in the video.
He said, How the fuck is this funny? I know it's creative, but when someone dies like that, it's fucked up. Rip the goat, XXXTentacion. No, I'm glad he's dead. I'm quintupling down, that's not even a word, on our stance on it, because that guy is horrible and he doesn't deserve to take breath on this planet.
I am recently quoted as tweeting, all Black Lives Matter except XXXTentacion's.
Man, you can only say that. I'm a Switzerland that hard. That's neither here nor there. I'm just gonna stay in the middle.
That's the iron dome of a comment, Sean. You just stay away.
Just like if someone wants to give me their gold and I have to stay here, cool. But I'm not gonna take anything.
Anyways, Butthurt AWOL Nation Stan has also entered the chat.
So this is for our AWOL Nation review, which that album was awful.
Dog shit.
That was one of the worst reviews we've done. It does not beat my favorite worst album of forever, but this is pretty bad. So Nicholas Castaneda says, This is the worst review. Take your own criticism so you can grow your channel because it ain't going to grow. Worst channel. It's definitely growing, which is the just hilarious part. And we do take our own criticisms, but not on that album because it is ass. And everyone who says who it was a fan of AWOL Nation who I've talked to all say that it is ass. So we are right. You are wrong.
Yes, and we are going to actually look at absolutely. We are going to look at a couple of different cases where there's mixed opinion because I think these are actually the best conversations. And this is what the conversations that we want people to have, so make sure you comment on our videos. This was for the DJ Shadow review, Our Pathetic Age, and I remember thinking about this album, okay, it's very distinctively 2 parts, 2 discs. It's kind of the culmination of this very storied producer's career, and there's a lot in there that's good, there's a lot in there that's bad, but there's definitely a lot in there that didn't totally need to be there in a full product, or definitely something that didn't have, like, in parentheses, deluxe around it. Yep. So we gave it a decent review, but we said that, like, it's a meh. So we got, again, a range of reviews. Robert said, disappointing. I knew it would be, but you always hold out for the best. Alas, DJ Shadow has become the childhood friend I went to school with, and now that we've graduated, we go in different directions as far as life choices, and I wish him the best still. That's deep. But that's a pretty
super random.
That's
indeed,
a pretty deep comment,
but
like I'll go with it. Yes. Sometimes artists get older and you go on with them.
Poison Dart said, shout out to Shadow for making a real rap album, which the first half is a rap album, the second half is definitely not.
Yeah, it's for the second half. It has rap in it for sure, and it features rappers because the first part.
Vice versa.
Other way around, yeah. First part's more jazz. The second part's definitely rappy.
Yes.
And then Jones coming in with, watching these 2 Muppets pretend to know what they're talking about make me want to shit into my own dick.
Why don't you try it? Try it and let me know how it goes.
Sean, be very careful with that. You'll get shadow banned.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I straight don't know what YouTube channel this person thinks they're on, but Trevin commented on our Coldplay video, What's the Matter with Coldplay? Damn, 16 mil subs and only 25 views.
No clue what channel you're on, but by the way, that was our Coldplay video. That was the one where I basically went from how they were brilliant to getting to completely selling out, and a lot of people did agree with it. A lot of Coldplay fans and stuff agreed with it too that I've talked to.
Yeah,
it was one of we had a lot of good stuff in that episode.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's in the podcast form or in the video form again on our YouTube channel. Wouldn't it be great if I just woke you up one day and was like, damn, Sean, forgot to tell you, we're at 16 million subscribers.
I'd be like, where's my check? Like, 16 million, where's my money at?
Calling YouTube going like, I want a jet.
I want it in writing. And then we know we got our usual spam, you know. Well, this is our first spam I've seen, which is
Mark with hotgirls2020.com. I will, we report, you decide.
We report, you decide. I'm not clicking that link.
Anyways,
and now we get to the meat and potatoes.
Now it's time for us to pay our taxes. Because the Strokes review, which at the time we're doing this, is our most watched review on the Audioface YouTube channel, youtube.audioface.show. I think we did a pretty decent job. I think, as what happens with some of these reviews, as we're doing it every single week, as we're listening to so much music, we don't have all of the details with everything as it's happening, especially with albums that like we don't know are coming. They just like get dropped.
Also, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. We listen to albums on Friday, we record on Sunday. So we only have 2.5 maximum days to listen to it. Plus, we both work and stuff, so we have a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, Audioface is definitely not our day job.
Not even remotely close. We just roll in like, you know, half asleep and be like, all right.
This is a hobby we take semi-seriously.
I don't take this seriously at all. I hope y'all know that. But it's fun.
If you're in the seat voluntarily for 150, you take it semi-seriously.
So I take it semi-seriously, but it's fun, and I just like, eh.
Yeah.
And especially on camera, I don't give a shit what I look like on camera, so... anyways, so we're gonna
Luis Suarez on Twitter.
We're gonna dive right in right here on the Strokes.
So first of all, let me do my reparations here.
Yeah, sorry, you start on this one.
In the Strokes, I was describing how some of the songs sounded like Billy Idol songs without necessarily mentioning Billy Idol by name, because I don't look at the credits for every single album that comes out to scan and see how it does. Maybe I should do that more often, but I didn't. And so Ricardo was quick to point out that said they gave credits to Billy Idol and the Butler brothers for Bad Decisions and Eternal Summer songs. It was intentional for the melody to be the same. And Ben Garcia saying Billy Idol was directly involved in making the Bad Decisions. So that's
which we both didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know directly, but we even said that we were able to point it to those exact same things, which I think is also pretty well, because like all these people were born well before us, and even if we don't know off the top of our head, we're able to kind of point you in the right direction. So I think that's kind of good for us. But at least I will say those are kind of fairly nice criticisms.
And then they just try to rip me a new asshole in this
Meanwhile,
one.
to Sean, they're
So
just like,
for Eternal Summer, there's a part, like the theme of the goddamn song sounds like Ghost in You by Psychedelic Furs. Like, the ghost in you, da-da-da. Like it goes like verbatim the same notes. And when I first listened to it, I'm like, why? I'm like, this sounds exactly like Psychedelic Furs. Okay. And then I said that on the podcast. And these assholes, Apocalypse Burger says, you definitely never heard of Psychedelic Furs, and you knew that just from hearing it. Another guy, AG, says, yeah, you never heard of the Psychedelic Furs, much less the Ghost in You. Fake review, thumbs down. I've been listening to 80s music my entire life because I grew up with it with my parents. So I've hella been listening to the Psychedelic Furs because I also like really obscure 80s music, because New Order is my third favorite band. So it's the same style of genre in that 80s. Also because Pretty in Pink was Psychedelic Furs, and I really like that film. So fuck off, I listened to them.
Shout out to Damien Wilkinson.
And then here we go. This
is
is
like secretly the voice in my head sometimes.
And then Damien Wilkinson says, guy on the left, get off your fucking phone. You really need to put an AirPod in your ear to check a message and then take it out. Get your shit together. This video production already looks like shit, and the fact that you seem so disinterested makes it worse. Best thing is I'm doing it to listen to a song. Anytime I put on I try not to, but there was, for the Strokes, there was something I couldn't remember, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. So I put my headphone in to listen to it, which we do occasionally. Dan does that all the time.
Yeah,
where we put it in
especially now that I have these
because
buttons
I can't use it on my laptop because fucking Apple makes it impossible to work with a PC. So I use my phone sometimes. If it's my iPad, it's much more seamless. So I put it in, look at my phone, because I'm like, okay, let me make sure. While Dan is speaking, I want to make sure that my point comes across if I'm listening to it. Because sometimes we get confused, especially if you have 3 or 4 albums of music. That's like 4 hours of music.
3 or 4 albums of music, 2 days.
It's a lot. I can't remember all of that.
All regurgitating it in the course of an hour and a half.
So Damien is a nice guy. I'll leave it at that.
A nice guy.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
And like, yeah, there are levels to the sauce. There's like we have our laptops in front of us. There's occasionally a message that'll come through and I'll answer, because like this will brush up against something to do, and that's fine. And then there's just listening to the music. We can't just
which happens. I try not to as much as I can, but sometimes I have to, where I'm like, I want to make sure I get the point across. Nice to like example, today's episode, because since they're all EPs and short, we could easily do without. Yeah. And then we go into why we make Audioface.
Yeah. These are just to round it out with some good comments. Our RTJ video was our second most watched video as of
around
this
the
time
Jules
talking.
4. Yep.
Rusty Cutlass says LP's production on Out of Sight in particular was a glory to behold.
It's so
Rico
good.
Montez saying the misdemeanor sample was sick.
It's so good.
Yeah, this
LP fucking, I love this
murdered
production
that album.
on
People
RTJ4.
like they're still doing a little bit of like a media tour, which is weird to do in like a COVID era, but like they're appearing in different places. But just what I'm hearing and hearsay of people just going, yo, that RTJ4 album's incredible. It's really good. It's like, yeah, they nailed it. I'm still hearing people talk about it now, so that's great. Broken House said to us in that video, keep up the good work, guys. So,
and then here's one of my favorites. So this is the Lana Del Rey, where we just, one of our many...
This was very recent.
This was, about a month ago when the Lana stuff happened, right?
About a month or a month and a half ago when she released this letter saying on feminism and other artists.
And be like, why can these female artists say sexual provocative things, but when I do it, I'm labeled as bland. We just...
Or when I don't want to do it, I'm labeled as something else.
Yeah, which we went in. And Turns said, you're going to get a ton of insane Lana Del Rey fans telling you she said she is not a feminist. You are correct in that. As if Americans use the English language like this regularly. You're also correct. Other than that, the message she tried to portray was done poorly. I enjoyed hearing all of your perspectives. Thank you as turns.
Thank you. We enjoyed hearing your perspective as well. Continue commenting at youtube.audioface.show, and we may review this on the air.
And then this was super recent with Peter, Bjorn, and John, which was our last episode. Music, Invention, and Architecture said this was really cool. You guys are onto something good here. Why, thank you.
I like to think so, otherwise I wouldn't have continued doing this for 150 episodes. If I thought we sucked, I would have been like,
I don't know where this one's from.
This one, I don't know exactly where it's from, but I just thought this was one of it's just like everything Audioface is about. Basically, it said, great review, I love this album, and I'm glad you guys understand that bands don't have to sound exactly the same from album to album. This was Two Door Cinema Club.
Two Door Cinema Club, yeah. I enjoy their album.
Yes.
We both did.
Yeah, and this is like
that's the whole point of, literally the whole point of Audioface is I like bands to try to progress and move forward and keep moving music forward, which is usually, you don't have to necessarily go night and day with your sound, but at least improve upon your sound all the time, which we always say.
Yeah, improve, do a different spin, grow musically.
Do something, you know, where it's not Drake or Future, where it's the same goddamn thing every release, and we're just like, hey, here we go again.
It's really easy. Oh shit, here we go again. It's really easy to find boring stuff, but what makes this podcast fun, what makes doing music fun, is when musicians do shit different.